and welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoe, and in today's video I want to talk about all my 1 stars of the year 2021. I have only 3 1 stars of the whole year. This is amazing. I have some DNFs and some books that have 2 stars, but these books will not mention in this video. Only the 3 stars. The 3 1 stars. Oh my god, the 3 1 stars. And let's start because we don't have... I just want to make this a short video for in between. The first 1 star of the year was Bridgerton, The Duke and I. And my problem with Bridgerton was by Julia Quinn. If you don't know that, the series, I love the series. But let's talk about the book. I love historical romance fiction books. I love them, okay? My favorite author is Joanna Lindsay. So just for you to know what my preference is in this world. But my problem with that is, not my problem, but the historical romance fiction books always have the same build-ups. They always the same. You have the one boy, you have the one girl, and both have the same society standard than the other. Sometimes one girl is lower in the society, but not often. And the girl always finds the man attractive. The man of course too, but the man is like, oh, I don't want to marry, I don't want to fall in love with you. And then they kiss each other or sleep with each other and produce a child. And then they need to get married because they got seen while doing this, or you know, I mean, a pregnancy is something you can't hide for a long time. Actually, you can. This is not even matter of the video. And then they get married, and then they have a conflict because the man doesn't really want to get married. Sometimes also the girl don't want to get married, but most of the time it's the man. And then they fall in love with each other, which is fucking amazing to see. And then in you get to the one part of the book when there's a big conflict. The both people notice, oh, I love the other one, but how do I say that? And then they got in a big fight, and then they don't talk to each other for a few days, and then sometimes something bad happens. I don't know, war, but this is the worst case. And then they confess they love each other, and then you have a happy ending, and this is amazing. This is the best part of the book. So normally the conflict is most of the time that they notice that they fall in love with each other and they don't know how to say it. And then sometimes when the man notice, oh, I love the woman that I married, they get so really drunk and they try to flirt with different women just to prove the point that they're not in love with the other woman, that they're not in love with their wife. And the wife sometimes notice the different scent on the man, and then they got in a big fight because of that. But they didn't betray the woman. It depends on which point you see it as betrayal. So, I mean, flirting is actually really bad. But at least they didn't sleep with each other. We don't talk about how good the books are, just how the book's built, okay? And then you have Bridgerton. And for the first part, I really loved the dynamic between Daphne and Simon. I loved the build-up. This was the first time getting back into historical romance fiction after, I think, 4 or 5 years. And this was so amazing to read. And then we got to the conflict point. And this was the moment when I realized this book is like shit. Because this is for the no spoiler people who don't want to hear the spoiler, is that the conflict that Julia Quinn chose was not good. I don't really like the way that the whole scene was described, and then afterwards how the both main characters react, not Simon, mostly Daphne, how she reacts to it, and then the whole family reacts to the situation. And then that they never talked about this anymore, or they just say it like, oh, it was not that bad, because it was bad. Yeah, yeah, if this is not enough for you, you can skip right to the next book. But if you want to hear the spoiler, you can stay here. So Julia Quinn chooses that Daphne rapes Simon. I mean, why? Why though? Because Simon said all the time to Daphne, I can't have kids. And Daphne figures out that Simon can have kids, but he just don't want to have kids. Which is funny, because how would you know if he really can have kids, but you just don't want to? In the end, he maybe really can get kids. Okay, let's ignore that. But instead of, I don't know, talking about this or figuring out this in a real way, Daphne chooses to rape her drunk, unconscious husband. And when he talks about her about this, that this was shit, she says no, she will do this all over again just to have this child that is not really confirmed yet that she's really pregnant. And yeah, and then when Daphne's brothers discovered it, that Simon kicked her out of the house, they drive to Simon and were like, I kill you. And Simon is like, yeah, but she did really something bad. And they're like, yeah, but you are the man. You need to be strong. And I'm like, no. So if you're a man and you're watching this, the pain of rape is the same for women and men. It doesn't matter if a man rapes a woman or a woman rapes a man. That what happened have the same amount of weight. It's just not less painful or less meaningful if a man was the victim. It's the fucking same. And a man don't have to be strong. Because what means strong? And when you look at the world, at the men who were strong and not emotional, look what happened to the world. To be honest, name me one man that is strong and not emotional, who is not mentally ill inside the head and toxic. So yeah, that's why I choose in the end for 1 star, because I thought this is not great. Julia Quinn could choose anything, a different topic, but not that. Yeah. And Simon, I'm so sorry for you. You didn't deserve that. The next book that I give 1 star was Nevernight by J. Christoph, and normal people just fall on the ground, so ignore that. And it's about Mia. She lost her parents, her full family, they got killed, and Mia says she goes now to the school where she got to get the education to be the best assassin in the world. And you follow her to the way she gets there, and she's in school. And this is the moment when I stopped reading it. This was a DNF, but I choose for 1 star. So what is my problem with that? I think I'm not the type of person for this book, because I like my story built up really good and not like this. Because J. Christoph put the footnotes in it, and this makes me aggressive to read the footnotes. Because first of all, when I read, I can see the little thing that he chose for the footnote. And this point it was an arrow, it goes up or down or sideways or this way or this way or this way, except for the fact how many footnotes he chose to put under the text. And sometimes when I read this, and then I read the footnote for it, it was out of context. It was just something that happened in the past or explanation of the God that is in this world. But right for the situation that we are in the book, it doesn't matter. You have just this information and you can't use it probably, because for the situation that the main character is currently in, it doesn't matter that I know which thousands of gods was prayed before the actual god. I don't care. I actually care, but you can write this better in the story so it's not confusing. So I was confused by it. And sometimes the footnotes were even longer than the actual chapter or the text. So sometimes the footnotes goes over two pages, and this is annoying. Then Mia was she was not a good character. The way she speaks, the way she acts, oh, it was just so horrible. And you would never expect it from a 16-year-old, even if she lost her parents. No 16-year-old talks like that. Not even a traumatized ones. I was a traumatized 16-year-old. I mean, my family didn't get murdered, but I think we can all relate with the emotional damage that we have in this world. But she was not good. J. Christoph Kent, right woman. And then the next thing what pissed me off, where I stopped reading it, was the moment when Mia got to the school and there was this one male teacher who said to her that she's ugly, that she has too small breasts, too big nose, her eyes are not in the right place, and she's just too small, and she's just so ugly and so pale and not pretty enough to be an assassin. And I say this in one video and I will say it ever again. In which book world you need to be an assassin and looking good? Like, in all the books where assassins in it, or assassins, they always need to be not seen, just do nothing special so the people don't notice you. And so the 16-year-old girl got from her male teacher, who's definitely much older than her, a boob job, a nose job, and self-tan, whatever you can expect. And this was so horrible. I read this as a 20-year-old. I was in a mental state where I can say this is definitely wrong. But I don't know how I felt if I read this book as a 16-year-old. I don't know how I would feel in this moment. I think I would be so mad and so sad that I for the most of the time of my teenager years, I thought I was really ugly. Sometimes I still think that I'm really ugly. And I don't know how I would felt when reading this. And I think this is such a horrible book. I'm sorry. Is this your favorite book? I'm so happy for you. But it's a no for me. And the last book is Normal People by Sally Rooney. And this is about Cornell and Marianne. They grew up in the same city. And in the city, Cornell was really popular, Marianne not. And in university it was switched. So Marianne was in the university popular, and Cornell was the loser. I will not say loser, because this is such a bad word, but I don't know how the actual word is. Loner. It says here, loner. And they both had a relationship with each other, like an on-off thing, in such a horrible way. In the first part of the book I thought Cornell is such a bad asshole and he deserves all the bad things happen to him. And then you read in the story, I thought, okay, Marianne is also a bad person. Marianne goes through some real bad shit in the first years of her life, but in the end she's still a horrible person. They both are horrible too, but I think as a own person, Cornell and Marianne are okay persons, but they both together are like the worst persons ever. I think they both didn't deserve each other. They were the wrong persons in the wrong place to the wrong time. They should never ended up with each other. This is the wrong sentence because there's an open end to it. And this book made me realize that I don't like contemporary because of the end. So yeah, if this is your favorite book, I'm honest. I want to know why. But yeah, this was the worst books of 2021. Let's see how many worst books I can get in 2020. 2022. How many 1 stars I can get here. So far I got none. This is amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if this was your favorite book, I hope you will still like me and not hate me, because I mean, we all have different opinions, and if this was your favorite book that I talk shit about right now, I'm so sorry, really, but I will accept your opinion and I hope you accept mine. And if you hate my favorite book, I will accept it and we are fine, okay? But if you really hate me now, you can unfollow me. Right here is the button to unfollow me. And then I will see you in my next video, maybe, if you didn't unfollow me, to see what my best books are. Because this is a lot. My 5 stars are a lot. 3 1 stars, this is okay. Okay, bye.